1 verse 1. I've got it marked here somewhere. It's not that far from Job, I think. Okay, here we go. Okay, from your King James Version here. Right. Yeah. Song of Solomon. Though its inclusion in the canon of the scripture has given rise to many kinds of allegorical interpretation, the book is literally a composite of ancient Israelite love poems between a man and a woman, possibly Solomon and his then possible lover. Okay. Song of Solomon's 1 verse 1. The Song of Songs, which is Solomon's. Let him kiss me, this is a woman, right, with the kisses of his mouth, for thy love is better than wine. Because of the savour of thy good ointments, thy name is an ointment poured forth, therefore do the virgins love thee. Okay. So it's not Solomon talking about a woman, or it's a woman talking about Solomon. Etc., etc. She says, I am black, but comely, O ye daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Kedar, supposed to be an Arabic or a region, as the curtains of Solomon. Look not upon me because I am black, because the sun hath looked upon me. My mother's children were angry with me. They made me the keeper of the vineyards, but mine own vineyards I have not kept. So for some reason they threw her out into the fields, into the vineyards to tend them, and because of the sun she got a dark or near black complexion. It's not saying that she was actually black. If you look at what's it, Bible, something like that. Let's have a look at this. Yeah, this might not go deep into it, but you find online that in the commentaries they have a completely different meaning. Okay. Go and ask a practicing Jew, a rabbi, what does that actually mean? Right? Okay. I've already covered a video on this, I think. These all Strong's Hebrew, etc. like that. They say Strong's Hebrew is good, but sometimes unreliable because the translations of things aren't exactly correct. Okay, we've done a video on this before. We're not going to go extensive and waste our time looking for that. Yeah, and giving you dead air. Yeah, so basically she was from Kedar. She had a dark complexion, and there's no verification or indication in those verses that Solomon was a black man. Okay, and she actually describes him, right, and it's like he had olive skin. Okay. You have to go do your research and check out the scriptures of that, and don't try to twist it, to suit your ideology or your religious belief system. Right? Okay, you have to read it for what it actually is. I can't find it. Song of Solomon's. It's in here somewhere. I guess it's after Job. Yeah, so that's basically what it says. Song of Solomon's, is it before or after? Ecclesiastes, okay. Somewhere near the Psalms. It's funny how you know all these where the Bible books are when you're a young fella, but then when you're an old man, you can't remember jack. Okay. Yeah, because you have this NIV, right? Different versions which don't actually say the word black; they say dark. So she might have had a dark complexion because being out in the vineyards at Kedar, she would have got a tan, right? So we've gone over this before with the Hebrew Israelite woman, Nahar, etc., saying that he was black. We verified no, he wasn't. Okay. She actually describes Solomon in that book. We just can't seem to find the description here, but yeah, take our word for it and go do your own personal research on it. Oh, here we go. Beloved, my lover is radiant and ruddy. That's red. There you go. Because a lot of what do you call them? Christian Christian identity. Say his Hebrews, or Adam and Eve, etc., were ruddy, or they're reddish, right? Because they're made from the red clay, etc. Like that. So you embarrass them, they go red because the blood rushes to their face, etc., and their complexion changes and they go red. Whereas apparently dark people or black people don't go red like that, right? They don't blush like that. Yeah. So she says, my lover is radiant, it's glowing, right? Charming, etc. Outstanding among 10,000. His head is purest gold. His hair is wavy and black as a raven, so his hair's black. His eyes are like doves by the water streams, washed in milk. Weird looking eyes. But yeah, that's just a lover's poem expression. Right? His cheeks are like beds of spice yielding perfume. Oh, he's all lovely. His lips are like lilies dripping with myrrh. His arms are rods of gold set with chrysolite. His body is polished ivory decorated with sapphires. His legs are pillars of marble set on bases of pure gold. His appearance is like Lebanon, choice as its cedar, so he's like a Lebanon tree. Yeah. His mouth is sweetness itself, etc., etc. This is my love, this is my friend, O daughters of Jerusalem. Okay. So that's what she's saying. She's describing what he looks like. She didn't say he's a black man, or hinted that he's a black man. Right? He hasn't, like, he's got golden arms, golden legs, all this sort of stuff. So he's probably like got an olive complexion. Okay. Compare it with the Lebanon, with those Lebanese timber or whatever, the wood, right? The trees, right? And you'd get his colour according to that scripture. So you can go have a look at another one, right? Just got to find it again. Ecclesiastes, which is after Psalms, I guess. Okay, we're looking at through the New English Bible version with the Apocrypha, because that's what we got on hand. We've got hundreds of different Bibles, but these just happen to be the ones closest to us. Okay, looking at Ecclesiastes. It's not the one. It should be either before or after. Wisdom of Solomon. There we go. Solomon. Okay. It's chapter 2. What are we doing? Yeah. The wisdom of Solomon, the promise of immortality. Okay. Love justice, you rulers of the earth. Set your mind upon the Lord. It's different. Okay, this is the wisdom of Solomon. So this is from the New English Bible with the Apocrypha. It doesn't seem to match the Song of Solomon. Let's see in the contents page if it's actually got the Song of Solomon. Songs of Songs, 797. 797. Page 797 after Ecclesiastes, and it's called the Wisdom. Wisdom of Solomon. Okay, so yeah, this is the Apocryphal. Yeah, that's the Apocrypha. So it's probably a completely different book to the Song of Solomon. Okay, we don't have another Bible here on hand. I'll just go grab one over there. Wait a second. Seeing as that's the Apocrypha version, go look at another one. So we've got here, we've got the NWT, the Good News. Okay, we're going to look at the New World Translation because this is the only other one we had on hand. So bear with us. Again. Song of Solomon. Okay, and it states here in this NWT, New World Translation of Scriptures by Jehovah's Witnesses. Okay, because it's the only one we've got on hand. We're not looking at the Mormon Bible. Okay, the superlative song, which is Solomon's. May he kiss me with the kisses of his mouth, for your expression of endearment will be the one. That's a woman talking about Solomon in a daisy dream, right? Poetically. Let's have a look at what she states about him. Chapter 4. Got this there momentarily. Okay, the translation of it is: look, you are beautiful, O girl companion of mine. I don't think he's saying that Solomon's a girl. Look, you are beautiful, your eyes are those of doves behind your veil. Okay. Your hair is like a drove of goats that have hopped down from the mountainous region of Gilead. Your teeth are like a drove of blah blah blah. Your lips, your neck. Oh my gosh. Okay, it looks like. What the hell? This one's like a female version. Hey. Hang on. Like a segment of pomegranate are your temples behind your veil. Your neck is like the Tower of David, built in course of stone, upon which are hung 1,000 shields, all circular shields of the mighty men. Your two breasts are like two young ones, the twins of a female gazelle that are feeding among the lilies. Okay, that sounds like it's describing a female there, not Solomon. Yeah, you have made my heart beat, oh sister. What the? And that's the Song of Solomon 4:9. Okay, yeah, thou hast ravished my heart, my sister. Okay, maybe that's Solomon talking to the woman. Yeah, that's probably what it is. Okay, yeah, that's exactly what it is. It is a female. Okay, so earlier on, she's actually describing him. Sorry about that. She's not actually describing him. It's all about his beard and stuff. First verse is a woman talking. She goes to the shepherd's tent and she states, I have compared thee, O my love, to a company of horses in Pharaoh's chariots. Thy cheeks are comely with rows of jewels, thy neck with chains of gold. We will make thee borders of gold with studs of silver. Yeah, it doesn't say here that he's black. Don't see anywhere here because it's a very small book. saying here he's black. King Solomon made himself a chariot of the wood of Lebanon. Don't see him saying here that he's black. His legs are as pillars. We'll go from up here. Aha, here we go. Yeah, this defeats this claim that he was black. According to the King James Version, it says, Song of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 10. My beloved is white. Let's get this up here. This is what it says in this old King James 1968 publication. 10. My beloved is white and ruddy. So he might have a red complexion. Okay. The chiefest among 10,000. He's the main man, the king, the chief. His head is as the most fine gold. His locks are bushy and black as a raven. So he's got black hair and maybe it's curly or bushy hair. Not necessarily an afro. His eyes are as the eyes of doves. Look at it, dove's eyes in comparison. By the rivers of waters, washed with milk and fitly set. Whatever that means. His cheeks are as a bed of spices, as sweet flowers, his lips like lilies dropping sweet smelling myrrh. Yeah? So he's got kissy lips. His hands are as gold rings. He's got seductive lips. His hands are as gold rings set with the beryl. His belly is as bright ivory overlaid with sapphires. His legs are as pillars of marble set upon sockets of fine gold. His countenance is as Lebanon, excellent as the cedars. His mouth is most sweet, yet he is altogether lovely. La 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 la. This is my beloved, and this is my friend, O daughters of Jerusalem. Right. Okay. So there's Jewish woman, right? So there you go. It's actually saying in your King James Version, he's actually white and ruddy. So look at this NWT. 14, 15. 15, look at it. 15. My dear one is dazzling and ruddy, the most conspicuous of 10,000. He stands out more than anyone else. His head is gold, refined gold. The locks of his hair are date clusters. It's black. He's got parenthesis. Here in parenthesis, brackets, is like the raven. His eyes are like doves by the channels of water, which are bathing themselves in milk, sitting with the rims. That's poetic love poem stuff, right? His cheeks are like a garden bed of spice, towers of scented herbs. His lips are lilies, etc., etc. His hands are cylinders of gold filled with chrysolite. His abdomen is an ivory plate covered with sapphires. His legs are pillars of marble based on socket pedestals of refined gold. His appearance is like Lebanon, choice with the cedars. His palate is sheer sweetness. His mouth probably. Everything about him is altogether desirable. This is my dear one, and this is my boy companion, O daughters of Jerusalem. So it's a woman describing her lover, King Solomon. Okay. And it doesn't say he's a black man or that he's black. So that knocks that out of the park. Okay? What else we got here? Yeah, King Solomon was one of the wisest, but he wasn't black, to ever walk the face of the earth, and one of the greatest kings of the nation of Israel. Very wise, but ended up being a fool because he played around with I don't know what the hell that lady was, and she got him into pagan idols and stuff. He described himself as a black man. No, he didn't. Okay? The Song of Songs, which is Solomon's. This is meaning the book. It's a book of Solomon, right? About Solomon. The Song of Songs, or poetries, which is Solomon's, all about Solomon, and Solomon coming back with his love poem to this woman he's got something for. Okay? That's what it means. So in 1:1 he's not saying that he's black, because he's trying to say here. Yeah? Okay, what's this? Where do we go? Went too far? Down there? Okay. Where are we? Okay. Solomon 1:5. I think we might have already covered that. 1:5. I am black, but comely are you daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Kedar, as the curtains of Solomon. Or dark. Depends on what version you're reading from. As we stated earlier, you can look at all these different Americanized versions, right? And you'll find that they'll say dark, or a brown, or even black. But yeah, it depends on the translation you're reading from. Okay. Well, we'll go back to there. Go back to that. Where are we? You can tell this person's a Hebrew Israelite, right? Because they have all these funny names, claiming they're the titles of God in the Hebrew. Went to a doctor or professor with doctorates, 2 doctorates in the Aramaic, Syriac, and the modern Hebrew, Israeli Hebrew, right? And asked them, are these names like Yahwashi Washi, Yahwushi Wushi, whatever they put up on their different live streams and blogs and websites, etc. Are these in Hebrew? And he says, what's that rubbish? It's not in the Hebrew. This guy's got 2 doctorates, so he's an expert. He knows the language better than anybody else out there, right? Well, there's others like him, but yeah, he's an example, right? Okay, so they've got here Sha Cha Wa Cha Wa Ha Anya Wa Na Awa Banwa Yaro Shalom Ka'ahal Ya Kada Kayara Ya I Was Shalama. The first part of this verse, which reads Shacha Wa Ha Anya, literally translate to I am dark skinned. Okay, that's in their language, whatever they're claiming. Okay, somebody ringing. It's a devil. Trying to interfere there. Somebody sent a text message. Okay, that's according to them, right? So they say, let's look up the meaning of the word for black. Shakar, we did that, and they use this verse for proof. This is the definition of Shakar from the New Strong's Exhaustive Concordance. We looked at that. Yeah, here they go. 783 Shakar, 7835 prop dusky, but also Absol GT black. Yeah, so the word Shakar means dusky. Let's look that word up and see what it means. We've already done that. The definition of the word dusky. See, they're still using the concise Oxford English to define an Eastern Aramaic or Hebrew word. Okay? And then they have the definition here, euphemistic. Go check out what that word is, define what that word is. Okay? Euphemistic. I don't know if we can cover that there. No. We have a look at what that, because you need to define the words, right? Or else you're going to take it out of context. Just get rid of that. Okay. How do you spell that word? E-U-P. Well, got a spell check, so that should come out right, probably. Euphemistic. Yeah, because if you don't have those words defined, you have a misunderstanding or misunderstood, and you take the meaning of the sentence out of context. indirect or vague term. Mild. Okay, the meaning of euphemism is a mild or pleasant word or phrase that is used instead of one that is unpleasant or offensive. So it's like saying Negro instead of that derogative N word, right? Okay, you're being nice. It comes from the Greek euphemia, which refers to the use of words of good omen. It is a compound of eu, meaning good, well, and whatever that word there is, feme, meaning prophetic speech, rumour, talk. Eupheme is a reference to the female Greek spirit of words of praise, etc., and positivity. Examples of it. Meaning in the Cambridge English Dictionary, a word or phrase used to avoid saying an unpleasant or offensive word. There's some more there. A figure of speech commonly used to replace a word or phrase that is related to a concept which might make others uncomfortable. It refers to figurative language designed to replace phrasing that would otherwise be considered harsh, impolite or unpleasant. Yeah, and so forth. So that's what it means there. Yeah. Okay, so rather than call them, someone saying, oh, you're black, you're African, you're a dreaded N-word, they put it nicely by saying he was dusky or dark skinned or whatever. Okay. Yeah. Dated or poetic literary of a person's. No, it's not to do. It's not necessarily a black person's skin, right? It may mean, you know, when someone says you're black, and use a derogative N-word, you know, that's harsh, that's mean, it's impolite, etc. So they'll say, oh, okay, so you are dusky, right? It's a nice way, politically correct, you might say. Thus far, brothers and sisters, according to the scriptures, Solomon described himself as black in Song of Solomon 1:5. Again, we're looking at that. No. Because it's not Solomon talking there in the first verse, because look at this. It says, look not upon me because I am black or dark skinned or dark, because the sun hath looked upon me. The sun shone down on her because her mother's children were angry with me. So what's that, grandchildren? Or her brothers and sisters? They made me the keeper of the vineyards, but mine own vineyards I have not kept. Okay, it's talking about the woman from Kedar. Okay, it's not Solomon talking about himself. Okay, we can look that up. Okay, look at these. Okay, let's have a look at this one first. In Song of Solomon, see if it comes up. Okay, maybe a bit slow here. Sorry about that. Okay, they say he was talking about the Song of Songs, that he might have written these songs, or the song during the early part of his reign. It's about teaching young women and men about deciding whom to marry, etc., etc. Okay, just nothing there. Okay, here we go. Does Song of Solomon 1:5 say Solomon was black? Song of Solomon is actually two people talking. Okay, we've established that. The first being Solomon and the second one his bride. The The first 6 verses of chapter 1 are actually the bride talking. Okay, so we have a look at that again. Okay, so if that's right, then it states number 1, verse 1, the Song of Songs, which is Solomon's. Okay, it's the book of Solomon. And verse 2 says, let him, it's a male, right, kiss me, somebody else, with the kisses of his mouth. Okay, so he's kissing somebody else. Right there, right? Yep. For thy love is better than wine. So how the hell can it be Solomon speaking to Solomon? You know, Solomon saying to the other Solomon, kiss me. It's a woman. Okay? Saying kiss me with the kisses of his mouth. Okay? Yeah, let me go look at that verse. Okay? For thy love is better than wine. So it's her talking in the first verse to the 7th, right? In the 8th, she's directed to the shepherd's tents. And she compares Solomon, her love, to a company of horses and Pharaoh's chariots, etc. And she's talking about the king. Congratulations. While the king sitteth at his table, my spikenard sendeth forth the smell thereof. That's some sort of perfume, right? So it's still the woman talking. A bundle of myrrh is my well-beloved unto me. He shall lie all night between my breasts. So does Solomon have breasts? Is he a transvestite or hermaphrodite? No, it's a woman talking about her love, right? The apple of her eye. Guy she's got her sight set on. Solomon, he can lie between my breasts all night. That's what it's saying. Okay. Yeah, and she's saying he's got dove's eyes. And later on she describes him. She has eyes of doves, etc., etc. So it's not Solomon speaking to Solomon, saying kiss me and we'll lie together, but you can lie between my breasts all night. It's a woman, his possible lover, talking about Solomon, right? Or talking to Solomon. She's talking to him through a poem, a love poem, to try and seduce him, right? Okay. So yeah, so it's not saying that Solomon was black. Yeah. So there again, they've got it wrong. They're using Strong's Concordance. They're using the English to translate Eastern language, okay, or the Hebrew, into to the ideology, right? And they're twisting it.